What's up, Mortgage Coach community? Dave Savage. I am coming to you live out of San Diego, California. I'm speaking at a sales rally tomorrow with Guild Mortgage. Today, I am interviewing Sofia Travayiakis. Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's right.
I love that last name, Travayiakis. So Sofia, this is the first time I've really got to meet you. I did a call with your company, Mortgage Network. What was it, about 2-3 weeks ago?
Last week.
Oh gosh, time is going fast. It seemed like weeks ago, but that's my life. And when I was doing research, it was just amazing how much production you're doing, how much you use Mortgage Coach, and I'm like, I need to interview this person. So tell everybody a little bit about your mortgage practice, where you're at, and then let's find out your secret sauce. What makes you so successful?
I don't know what the secret sauce is. I always say it's hard work, but so
well, maybe that's where
located,
we'll land.
Yeah, I'm located in Boston, Massachusetts. So I've been an originator since 1997. Started in Salt Lake City, Utah, and then I moved to Boston and had to start over in 2003. So really in Boston since 2003. And I have offices in downtown Boston and more of a suburb of city of Boston, West Roxbury. So I have a sales team of just myself, one sales assistant, and a dedicated processor. So there's a team of 3 women that we try to rock it out with girl power.
I love that, rocking it out with 3 women. And what kind of production did you do last year?
I hit a little shy of 91 million last year.
How many families served?
Families served was 206.
Wow. So first of all, that is awesome production. You are an industry rock star at anyone's measures. 200 families served, and that's not a huge team. You know, I mean, it could be bigger to support that kind of production. So you guys are definitely working hard. And then you've done over 1,600 Mortgage Coach reports, which I'm like, 1,600 families served with more than just rates and fees. So talk about that a little bit. Why do you use Mortgage Coach, and how do you use Mortgage Coach?
Yeah, I use Mortgage Coach. I do primarily purchase business. So I believe that, you know, to be able to really, truly show a customer their options, what they qualify for, and being a true, you know, advisor to them, and not just saying, okay, I'm looking for a 30-year fixed and, you know, I want to put 20% down. Well, let me show you what the differences look like. Maybe you want to do a 10-1 arm, you know, IO until you do renovate the entire house. And then I show them how to, the different products. I think the Mortgage Coach is the platform that I'm able to explain it the best way, showing 4 scenarios, and also shows them long-term and short-term benefits. Once they see it on paper and they can see everything side to side, they can make an educated decision, and they feel like I have, as an advisor, presented them with the best options that I can give them. And I believe that adds value and trust to the client. I don't know if I could sell without Mortgage Coach. I'll be honest. I've been using it for years, since before 2003. And I think it's phenomenal.
Well, I heard some words that you used. You used advice. You called it a platform, which we have built it to be that. Like, if you're going to communicate rates, fees, you know, the cost of doing a mortgage, it's a platform. So that, you know, and do you use the video feature much, where you add a video? I'm just curious.
Yeah, I've tried to. That my goal this year is to use more video. Yeah, so okay. I don't use it as much. I think that what I'll do is send them the link and able to talk to them over the phone virtually. So I do use the feature where we're both on the platform using it, and I can highlight you know, different programs and explain why I've chosen certain programs that they qualify for, what my advice is. And so I do that virtually. I don't do the videos as much, but I'm planning on doing that because I know it'll save some more time.
Yeah, and then I hear that you can just tell you're efficient and effective to serve over 200 families in a market like Boston with you and 2 team members. You guys have to be productive and efficient, and it's just clear that we're part of that, you know, productivity and efficiency platform. So I want to come back to Mortgage Coach, but I also really want to learn what makes you so successful. Before we go completely off Mortgage Coach, how often does a family come to you and go, like, what's your rate? You know, whether it's from a grindy perspective or whether it's from a like you're having your first conversation, how often does the conversation start where that's part of their questions?
I want to say that I do get the what rate question, and I thought the video that you guys did a couple weeks ago was awesome, about how to, talk to people about that. But I would say a lot of my clients don't come to me for rate. They've come to me in advance from a real estate agent, and they are very trusted. So I've already kind of spend that time with them and advise them in a certain direction. So when it comes to that rate, or when they find a home or we're ready to actually lock them, I don't get the rate question as much as the refis are different, right? So now I'm getting the rate question on these refis that are now coming in. So that's when I get more of the rate question is, what's your rate? What's your rate? So in that case, that's when the mortgage coach again kind of helps me say, okay, I can offer you a great rate, but here is what it looks like if you do if you pay some points, and maybe you called me for no points, no closing costs. I show them what it costs with 1 point on a mortgage coach, and it's a better deal for them.
Got it. And one thing I've noticed, because I've been asking more and more loan officers this question, and especially with purchase business, you've trained your realtors that you're more than just a transactional loan officer. You've trained them that, hey, send people to me, and just the advice and the education they're going to get is the value. And so when you're getting referred, I'm sure the scripting is you need to talk to her because she's going to educate you. She's going to advise you. They probably don't say it, but like, even if you don't do the loan with her, it's worth paying money to get advice from this woman. And I'm sure that is the way that referral comes to you. So they're just calling you, I want to meet with you and learn from you. That's the spirit of the conversation. And to your point with refis, we all know that's different. So let's go off topic, and then we'll close with some mortgage coach strategies. What is your secret sauce? I mean, to do the kind of volume you do, what do you think makes you special, and what do you think is the reason people do business with you?
A little bit back to kind of what we talked about educating, and I like to educate people and know that I've been able to, let's say, sleep at night. I do my best every day to try to give customers, the best program, the best, rate that I can give them as well. But it's more of the long-term, as a long-term advisor. I constantly say that I'm more of a concierge service to the client, from here until you buy your second, third, and fourth home with me. So I try to add value to my real estate agents by education, letting them know what programs are available, really helping them grow their business, but also, advising the clients, teaching first-time home buyer seminars. I think that, getting back to people right away, I truly am always available. So I have 3 kids, but I still, get back to people on a timely basis. So I really pride myself on speed, availability, and just quality. So I think that those 3 things, just working hard and having somebody that you can rely on. So as a real estate agent, they don't want to worry about the transaction. They just want to give you the client, and they just want to get their paycheck at the end, So I think that they have the ease that they know if I'm going to do the loan, there's going to be no issues.
So I love that. So you have 3 kids. How old are your kids?
I have a 13, 10, and a 6-year-old.
Wow. So you've got your hands full. So I need to have you on for a full Tuesday top producer interview, because managing, a mortgage practice like the one that you have built, and then having 3 kids, and then, as you said before, you moved markets and had to completely reinvent yourself. So there's a full hour of questions that I have for you. So are you cool with coming back and doing a Tuesday interview?
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay,
sure.
Cool. So we'll unpack that in the next interview. So you get most of your business from realtors. Do you have, a good friend of mine is the founder of Win by Noon, and he has this framework, book in your day, time block your prospecting. Do you have any rhythms or standards around how much prospecting you do a day, and just how you manage your time?
I do. I use Win by Noon as well. I have actually a written booklet. Yeah. Okay. So I do use Win by Noon. So I do. I try to. I mostly organize my week in certain days. So on Mondays, I'm focused on, doing the pre-qualifications and getting the new offers that are coming in from the weekend, the multiple bids. So Mondays are really my days that I am talking to my realtors, getting their clients pre-qualified. Tuesdays are my pipeline reviews and making sure that what's in my pipeline is getting completed. And then Wednesday is touch base, yes, with face-to-face for at least once a week. I try to touch base with my realtors. And then Thursdays are my financial advisors and CPAs, anybody else that's in my group I try to reach out to. And then Fridays, I call it my closing days. So usually closings are on Fridays. So I try to visit the closings, as many closings as I can get to physically.
I love that. I'm thinking, like, how am I going to title this interview? And you really are the modern mortgage producer. You're using technology. Right now you're on a mobile phone, you're using Mortgage Coach, but yet you're old school. You're using Win by Noon, the written copy. It sounds like you're working hard to be the captain of the wealth team, while realtors are your alpha referral partner. You sound like you've got, a lot of different referral partners. So there's definitely a lot of questions I have around how you do that. So anything else you want to share before we bring it back to Mortgage Coach? And I want to get how you take a conversation from price to advice. So I'd like to close out our interview with that. But is there anything else you want to share? Because you've watched Mortgage Coach interviews, and right, you've tuned into our channel.
I do.
Anything,
yeah.
If you were watching this, or you had peers at your company watching this, is there anything else you think you want to share with them at this point?
I think that especially if you're a newer loan officer or younger, let's say, loan officer, my advice is to learn as much product and much knowledge about product that's available to you at your company, wherever you work with, so that you have the arsenal to actually be able to speak. Once you have the knowledge and you know about that, you're able to speak, clear and just confident to your customer. So if I have any advice, I would say learn as much product as possible. And even some older, loan officers, they kind of are just stuck in their own way and not learning new products. So I would say any advice I would give you is to always learn your product and know what you're selling.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I actually did a call yesterday with Casey Cunningham around what is the modern originator. And I'm personally trying to create like this playbook and checklist of it. And I've come up with these kind of themes. And one of them is MQ for Mortgage IQ. You need to have this mortgage IQ, which you just speak to. You need to have this emotional IQ, EQ, personal connection. And then you need to have this AQ, advice IQ, in terms of being able to actually be an advisor. And let's face it, it's a lot. You need to also be a pretty good salesperson, like an influencer. There is a difference between someone who's casual in this business and someone that is a real alpha influencer. And I don't know if I like the word influencer as much as I like leader, but you need to have these leadership skills. And so there's just a lot, but I like that you shined a light on that. So I'm definitely going to schedule you for Tuesday. And if you're watching this and you have more questions, put a list down below, or just put a question down below for Sofia. So Sofia, let's go and end out with you going through a TCA, but let's almost do like that what's your rate, where I ring, what's your rate? And let's assume that it was not, a nice, great referral from one of your realtors that put it together and really nicely for you. And they're calling up saying, hey, I want to schedule a consultation. Let's say and let's do it like a millennial buyer, where I'm researching online, your name came up. What's your rate? So ring, what's your rate?
I'd say thank you for, considering me and your home buying purchase. I'd like to know a little bit more details about what your financial goals are in the future. How long you live in the property, what type of property is it, so that I can tailor your analysis and give you the right program and rate that you're looking for. So let's get some more details that you're about the property, about yourself, and then I can definitely show you an accurate, give you an actual quote and be able to give you, the best rate that you're looking for. But let's look at the best product and what your long-term goals look like. So then I'll kind of go into more detail about, what type of property, how long you think they'll live there. If they're buying a condo in the city, which happens a lot, and it's 800 square feet, I know they're not going to live there more than 7 years. So that's when I, offer them something like a 7-1 ARM, 10-1 ARM, and it really changes the whole conversation.
So I want to unpack a few things on that. And I think a lot of what she did, I've heard other loan officers do, but she used the word so I could tailor, so I can give you the rate. So analysis, she mentioned the word analysis. So if you're a first-time home buyer, a millennial, and you hear that, like, an analysis, oh, what are you going to do? So I thought that was exceptional. One word that I recommend is just, I'll tell you, I need to ask you some questions so that I can tailor the right loan for you. And then I can tell you exactly what your interest rate is. Because that just disarms them. Like, when they know that they're going to get exactly what they want, they'll answer some questions. So let's do a TCA. I know you've got a total cost analysis ready to show. What do you call it to the family? Do you call it a total cost analysis, or do you have another term that you use to describe it?
I do call it a home buying analysis. Yeah, for your family. Yeah.
Okay, I like that. And anybody that's watching this, I have been collecting names of what the mortgage coach community calls it. And really, I don't mind. If you don't call it a total cost analysis, you're not hurting my feelings. I'm loving some of the creative names that I'm hearing. So in comments down below, please, what are you calling the mortgage coach report? So let's kind of make this chapter 2 of the ring, and then you ask some questions, and then why don't you pull up the TCA, and everybody, you're getting ready to see it in a new and innovative way. She's on a mobile phone. So we're going to lose a video of Sophia, but we're going to see a picture of the total cost analysis on a mobile phone. So Sophia, I'll tell you when I see it.
Okay.
This is like, everybody, this is like something I didn't even know you could do with Zoom until Sophia and I were doing some prep. And I said, hey, show me the screen. And next thing you know, I'm looking at the mobile app. It worked earlier. Let's see if Sophia can do that magic trick twice.
Come on. It says it's coming.
Boom. All right. We see the screen broadcasting, those menu options. You're sharing your screen, and I'll tell you when I can see the actual TCA.
All right. Where is it going? Maybe because I'm not. Can you see it now?
Boom. We can see it. Hi, Dana. So I love your branding. Great job on that. So what are we looking at? Like, what's the sales situation? And tell us the story and the strategy here.
Yeah, so Dana is a first-time home buyer. She doesn't have a lot of money to put down, very limited. And here in Massachusetts, we have mass housing, which is a product for first-time home buyers. There's income restrictions. And I did Home Ready and Home Possible as different options for her. And so that she can see that she is qualified for a lot of these programs. And she was looking at a couple, making an offer on between 220 and 215. So I did a couple loan amounts for her as well. But clearly, once she saw it on paper, we could kind of really look that the mass housing with PMI was probably her best product.
Love this.
Yeah.
And notice, guys, she's clicking into it. This is on a mobile device. So I am just so proud of Mortgage Coach and the platform that we have, because whether you look on a desktop or you look on an Android or an iPhone, I mean, it is clean, professional communication. Like, we are helping you compete with Zillow, Redfin, Amazon. The Mortgage Coach app is absolutely on point with any of the top technology companies in the country, which I do think is important to note, because a lot of technology in the mortgage industry, it's competing with other technology in the mortgage industry. When we design technology, we're creating a consumer experience for you guys. Hey, scroll to the very bottom real quick. I want to make sure everybody saw that little, check that out, guys. Just a reminder, we integrate with all kinds of platforms. Really proud of our social survey integration. So when you show this to a family, you went down to what I call the transactional triangle, the rates, fees, and payments. How much time do you spend on that? And do you show some of the charts, cost over 5 years? And if so, when do you talk about that?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I'll go through each program, the pros and cons of each of them. over the 5-year time frame, over the 30 years.
Scroll down as you're showing the different time frames, if you don't mind, just so.
All right, let's see. I
Yeah,
think
the other way. So there's 15 years, there's 6. And are those the time frames you usually use, or do you tailor those based off of the client's goals?
I definitely tailor them off the goals. On purchases, I kind of do leave it on the 5-year and 15, just because I think it's a pretty good numbers to be looking at if they're not sure how long they're going to live there, really. But on a refi, I definitely change them.
Okay, and just a reminder to everyone, I always advise, whenever it comes up where they told you I have a goal in 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, tailor it. But we put these defaults in there for a reason, because they are, 15-year mortgages are so common. Everybody just kind of wants to know what's it look like in 15 years. And let's face it, 5 years is a good short-term point. So good to have you back, Sofia. So any closing thoughts? Let's go into wrap-up mode, but any closing thoughts you have, or things that you think the mortgage coach community would want to hear from you?
I just think that, continue to, I know at the beginning, it can take some time to just get the speed, but once you do, 3, 4, 20, you get used to the speed of it, and being able to add in programs quickly, and you'll see it'll save you a ton of time to do these mortgage coaches, especially refis. I mean, I think it helps on refis to really, because now once we put a 1003 in, it triggers, so a lot of times before wasting my time entering an entire application for these people, I start my refis in mortgage coach, just use it in mortgage coach, show them the difference. Maybe it's not worth it. Maybe I do the numbers and it's not worth it for the refi at this time. So it really saves a lot of my time, rather than, entering an entire application, having them just do a more quick mortgage coach for them, and they can make a decision.
So for all you mortgage coach loan officers, or just people in the community watching this video, Sofia did over 90 million, a team of 3, including herself, mother of 3. One thing she does not have is extra time. So I think it's important to recognize that mortgage coach is not only a sales advantage, it is a time saver. And like, I talk to people all the time, well, my customers don't want a TCA, or I don't have time to create one of those. If you're saying you don't have time, all you're telling me is that you haven't done it 20 times yet, because you haven't figured out how to turn it into something that saves you time. And if you say things like, oh, some people don't want this, all that means is you haven't learned how to have the mortgage coach conversation with that type of a family. Every family wants a mortgage coach report. It is a tailored conversation. A first-time home buyer is different than someone that has bought 7 homes. A conversation with an FHA borrower that barely qualifies and needs down payment assistance is different than someone that's putting 20% down. It is a different conversation, but education is still a difference maker. Anything you want to add to that, and then we'll close out this call?
Absolutely. I think anybody that says that their customer doesn't really want it, I think that even if a customer maybe says, oh, it's a lot of information and I don't understand it, and that's when you have to come in and really educate them and say, the reason why I put this together for you was this. If they end up not looking at it, or after you explain it to them, that's fine. But at least to them, it makes you look good. I think they trust you after. They know what you're talking about. And just doing that alone will help you, gain that trust to the client.
And that's a really good point. I want everybody to write down that script you just said. I showed you this because and I learned this from Rene Rodriguez, where he talks about framing, the message, and then the tie down. And it's like, I gave this to you because, and that's true. Like for those of you that are orange belts or white belts, and you haven't learned how to use mortgage coach, the first time someone asks you that and you don't have a good answer, well, I did it because I'm trying something new. You got to get through that pain of change. But I'm glad that you gave us that little script. So Sofia, thank you so much for making time to give back to the mortgage coach community. It's been a great conversation.
Thank you for having me.
I will send you some Tuesdays, and I'm looking forward to spending a whole hour with you and finding out how a mother of 3, got to this point in your career. I really want to learn more about you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you.